Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees. Today we continue reading from the book The Light of Bhagavata by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Text 5. The evening in the rainy sky is dark all around. There is no sight of twinkling stars on the horizon or the pleasing moon. They are covered by clouds, and the insignificant glowworms become prominent in the absence of the luminaries in the open sky. As there are seasonal changes within a year, so there are changes in ages in the duration of the manifest cosmic world. These changing ages are called yugas or periods. As there are three modes of nature, there are also various ages dominated by these three modes. The period dominated by the mode of goodness is called Satyuga. The period passion is called Treta Yuga. The period of mixed passion and ignorance is called Dwapar Yuga. And the period of darkness and ignorance, the last period, is called Kali Yuga, or the age of quarrel. The word Kali means quarrel. Kali Yuga is compared to the rainy season because many difficulties in life are experienced during this damp season. In Kali Yuga, there is a dearth of proper guidance. One may take guidance in the evening from the stars and the moon, but in the rainy season, the light of guidance comes from the insignificant glowworms. The real light in life is the Vedic knowledge. Bhagavad Gita affirms that the purpose of Veda is to know the all-powerful personality of Godhead. But in this age of quarrel, there are quarrels even over the point of existence of Godhead. In the godless civilization of the age of quarrel, there are countless religious societies, them trying to banish God from religion. Glowworms want to be prominent in the absence of the sun and the stars, and these small groups, following various religious conceptions, are like them, trying to be prominent before the eyes of the ignorant mass of people. There are now a number of self-made incarnations people follow without authority from the Vedic literatures, and there is regular competition between one incarnation's group and another's. The Vedic knowledge comes in a tradition from the spiritual master through the chain of disciplic succession, and the knowledge must be acquired through this chain without deviation. In the present age of quarrel, the chain has been broken here and there, and thus the Veda is now interpreted by unauthorized men who have no realization. The so-called followers of the Vedas deny the existence of God, as in the darkness of a cloudy evening the glowworms deny the existence of the moons and the stars. Sane people should not be waylaid by such unscrupulous men. Bhagavad Gita is the summary of all Vedic knowledge because it is spoken by the same personality of Godhead who imparted the Vedic knowledge into the heart of Brahma, the first created being in the universe. Srimad Bhagavatam was specially spoken for the guidance of people of this age, which is darkened by the cloud of ignorance. Text 6. On hearing the sound of the torrential rains, the frogs come out of the mountain caves and begin to chant, like brahmacharis who chant the Vedic hymns by the order of the spiritual master. In this age of godless civilization, the sages of world-recognized religious sects who believe in God must come out of their secluded places and preach the science of God, the supreme will, to the people in general. Hindus, Muslims, Christians, and the members of the other sects that have convincing faith in the authority of God must not sit idly now and silently watch the rapid growth of the godless civilization. There is a supreme will of God, and no nation or society can live in peace and prosperity without acceptance of this vital truth. The warning is already there, and responsible leaders of religious sects must meet together and form a common platform of a league of devotees of the Lord. There is no need for self realized souls to live in secluded places. Perfect self realized souls, engaging in service of the Lord, are unafraid of Maya, just as law abiding citizens of the state never fear the police. Such fearless devotees of the God always speak scientifically about the existence of God, even at the risk of death. Such devotees of God feel compassion for the mass of people who have completely forgotten the Supreme Lord and who engage in false pursuit of happiness that ends in the sense pleasures enjoyed by hogs and dogs. Text 7. The small rivulets that almost dried up during the months of May and June now begin to overflow their banks like upstarts that suddenly overflow the limits of expenditure. One should learn gravity from the sea and the rivulet. The sea is always within its limits in spite of the many rivers pouring water into it. Similarly, one should properly use the assets of life and not squander them for the purposes that have no permanent value. Uncontrolled, sensuous persons play with the assets of the body and accumulate wealth. But the strength of the body should be utilized for self realization and not for sense gratification. Human beings have two kinds of temperament. Some are introspective and the others are extravagant. Those who are extravagant are enamored of the external features of phenomenal beauty and have no insight into the whole manifestation. They are particularly asleep to introspection and thus they are unable to derive any permanent value from the assets of the human form of the body. But one who has developed introspection is as grave as the sea. While those who are extravagant are calm and quiet in sleep, such grave persons use the full advantage of human form of life. Although the animal propensities of the body should be minimized, those who are extravagant temporarily overflow in material enjoyment. Nonetheless, as soon as the rainy season of life is over, they become as dry as the river beds. Life is meant for the right cause, or sat, that which exists for all time. In the material world, nothing is sat or eternal, but the bad bargain of the material world can be used for the best purpose. The mind dedicated to extravagance is a bad bargain, but one can make the best use of the mind by introspection. Thus, we come to the end of today's reading. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.